up, Barbell Therapy fans? I am Kate. I am your host, and I'm coming to you today with a pretty quick solo podcast because this podcast is coming out 4 days late, and I just really was unwilling to have another week go by where I let life get in the way of the things that I want to be bringing to the world. So while this week was supposed to have a guest in general, that guest was supposed to be my wonderful fiance, we recorded 2 podcasts and they didn't work. The first one, the audio was so bad, it felt like it would be a disservice to the podcast and to your time have it, because you honestly couldn't even understand half of the things that we were saying because the audio was cutting in and out. My guess is because the microphones were dying, so there's that, but whatever. It just kind of is what it is. And then we recorded again, and so the microphones that I got have to be connected to your phone. They can't be connected to the laptop at all. So basically what then ended up happening was I don't have a converter from what you can put in your phone and an Apple phone, I guess old Apple phones anyway, to USB-C. I only have USB-C to USB. Funny enough, when I ordered the USB to USB-C, I actually ordered the wrong ones, and I ordered one of these converter ones that went from whatever the phone charger, whatever goes in here, to USB-C. And I was like, I don't need these. What would I possibly need these for? For this. But so I had to return them, so I don't have them anymore. Anyway, I don't even know if it would work. But regardless of that situation, when you connect it to your phone, what I didn't realize, I was getting a lot of texts. And so I needed to text people, and I was getting them from my parents, and my parents and Johnny, when they text me, even if I'm on Do Not Disturb, I still get their notifications because obviously I feel I don't know, just in case it's an emergency or whatever. So I took this screen away so that I can go back and text them and be like, hey, can you guys stop texting for a moment? Because I just couldn't figure out how to turn off notifications from them. So I took this screen away, and then I just locked the phone and and I kept going. And then I forget what I did after that, but then I did something else and I put this screen back. And so ultimately what I discovered is that if I were to take this screen away that says my phone is being used as a microphone and go use my phone, then I don't think the audio connects. Cause that's basically what happened. If you were watching the video, I use my phone, audio completely disconnects, and then I use my phone again and the audio comes back. So it's I feel like that's the only explanation. So with all of that being said, then there was literally 19 minutes that there's no audio. And I was like, well, there's that. We didn't have time to record over the weekend a second time. And I was trying to edit it and it just wasn't working. So then we recorded on Monday and I was going to edit it and I had to work Monday evening. And that's when I saw that. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, hey, I'm done. I'm done trying. But then Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't typically have time because I have cheer practice. And so there's just a lot going on. And specifically this Tuesday, we had a double women's soccer practice. So I was at work from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then I came home and I had boot camp training. Then I ended up not going to cheer because I was just miserably exhausted. Then I found out 3 people at work are sick and I was like, oh, well, so I probably have something going on. But besides the point, I feel better today, a little bit drained still, but better. I slept for 9 hours last night. I'm going to try to get this podcast out tonight or tomorrow morning. So it's pretty real time, let me tell you. But I thought it wasn't a bad idea to come on and do a solo podcast anyway, because I feel like in my last podcast, I had really talked about all the struggles that were going on. And pretty immediately after that, I feel like things started to really lighten up and just get better. And so I thought I would just talk about how things kind of got better, and just kind of where we are now. Last week I talked a lot about the struggle of everything that I have going on and how it just felt all really hard and how I wanted a lot of things that I felt were just not possible. And so what I ultimately was trying to reconcile was what do I give up? How do I get everything that I want? and I have to give things up like on all these different things. And so, we'll just like recap some of that. So obviously I work in collegiate athletics, which is crazy. I have no autonomy over my day. Other people drive my schedule in my day all the time. And then it started cheerleading again, which is typically evenings. And the reason I did that is because I do have like more time during the week from my collegiate athletics job than I did previously, which is why I had quit originally, is because I could not do the time demands of that. I don't have autonomy over that schedule either. Now, I did tell them in advance that I needed an assistant coaching position because there were going to be times that I could not go to practice due to my full-time job in collegiate athletics. And I'm the type of person that's like, feels really guilty about that, about like having to make schedule adjustments and not show up, especially like on a night like Tuesday where I was like, I can go. I'm just so run down that like, I feel like I will die if I go. So I have that job. And then obviously I have my business that is doing amazing, and I'm supporting so many women and helping so many women. And I love it. Like I love my job and my business. I love the podcast. I love meeting new people. And there's just a lot of great things going on here. And then on top of all of that, I have my own personal goals where I have been working really hard to heal my gut, fix my hormones, and just get myself into like a healthier place because of all of the stress and things that have kind of like come up in life. And then taking a step back from powerlifting and trying to find myself in the gym again and things like that. And it's just like, it's been really hard to make all of that work together. And how I was feeling was that there was like no path forward with it all. And I think what I really needed to do is just like take a step back and reprioritize things and maybe make a timeline that would allow for all of these things to be important. So, I was in this bubble, this transition, this period of things changing, and I'm still in it, by the way. Like things are changing, like nothing is stable yet. Between preseason, school not being back, choreography and heat wave for cheer and things like that. Like we're not in a stable environment yet, and we won't be until September, the first week of September. And then it'll change again 2 months later, but that's besides the point. So I'm feeling all of this like craziness and all this transition that just feels kind of difficult to process, I guess. And yeah, so like we're just kind of moving and grooving through that. What I really needed to do was sit back and be like, okay, like what are these things that you want? So you want to have all these jobs and everything that you have going on, and you're going to maintain that. Like, and you don't really have an option, right? Like I don't have an option to just stop my business. I don't have an option to just stop this podcast that brings me joy and I feel like it's putting good things out in the world. And then, I don't have an option to not do my full-time job because that's the majority of my income. And then this cheer thing, I just started it and I'm not ready to give it up yet. So, we're all over the place. And then it was just like, okay, well, do I have to give up my goals for that? Like, do I have to just like give up on trying to lose some body fat and heal my gut and all of that? Because then those also are slightly competing, or like healing your gut and your hormones while being in a calorie deficit are they kind of don't align. So it's like, okay, how do I go from here? Basically, I ended up needing to like sit down and again, reprioritize a timeline to make it all work. So right now I'm in this heightened state of stress, and it's just going to be this bubble that will eventually burst. But for now, the bubble is just getting bigger because of all the transition and everything that's happening. So I am in this like need to survive type of mode. On top of all of that, by the way, I am dealing with like this neck thing where like I've been in pain. My neck has been in pain for like several years, and I just thought it was stress and I needed to like massage it out and it'll be better. Turns out that I have some deformity with my neck, and so like I need to go to physical therapy, and that's why I'm in pain all the time. And I ended up taking steroids. Those helped a lot. And now I have this anti-inflammatory to like help for like chronic pain whenever it does come on. And these past 2 days I've actually been pain free. So that's like really exciting without the anti-inflammatory. So that's really exciting, and seeing a lot of really positive things. And like literally when I got the answers and I got the inflammatory, I dropped 2 pounds just like that, because that's how much stress and inflammation influences your body. So that was really helpful. And it also like helped move that needle a little bit of like, okay, there are answers. This is a positive direction. So it really helped me with that. But So basically I was like, okay, I just need to survive. Like these next 2 to 3 weeks, I just need to figure out what is the bare minimum I need to do in order to survive. And so that's kind of what I was focusing on. And so I was like, okay, right now I'm in a slight calorie deficit. I've been seeing, albeit slow, but I've been seeing progress in terms of a calorie deficit. I have seen a ton of progress in terms of healing my gut and feeling less bloated and crappy throughout the day. And my nutrition coach and I are just working really hard on that. And then I have this neck pain that is starting to resolve itself. And so right now lifting doesn't really have a place. Beyond my work schedule being busy, I really my main goal right now is to feel better day in and day out. And that's both with my gut and my stomach and my neck and chronic pain every single day. So that's what I'm prioritizing. I am prioritizing healing in general and healing from all the stress and craziness. And so for these next 2 to 3 weeks, that's what we're doing. We're focusing on healing and getting there. I plan to start incorporating a little bit more cardio. I was doing incline walks. I stopped doing them, again, to focus on what we're doing. So now I want to add those in, which will then help even more with that calorie deficit and getting me into that additional, seeing a little bit more progress. I start physical therapy tomorrow. So hopefully once I have those exercises and that under my belt, the pain will really start to decrease and I'll start to build strength in my neck to get me to a place where I'm not in chronic pain and I don't need to be on anti-inflammatories anymore. So once we get all of that situated, I can introduce lifting back as well. And through all of this, it's okay, yeah, the wedding is coming up. And obviously that was a big driver towards getting results or, progressing through this. However, with this timeline in mind, I'm still going to be making progress, even if it's a little bit slower. And I'm going to be decreasing my pain, which is going to decrease my overall stress. And come the wedding time, even if it's only a month before, we'll be in a place. I still have over 2 months, by the way. We'll be in a place where I can get really aggressive with the calories to drop the weight if I need to. I also am feeling maybe it's not that we need to get that aggressive and I just need to keep doing this slow burn and to get there and just be happy with that, because at the end of the day, where I am today with my body, when I'm not feeling bloated, I feel incredibly confident and I feel great. So pretty excited about that. Once again, I think what really hammers all of this back home, right? And what really inspires this podcast and its name, and it really embodies everything that I feel, is that when you build a lifestyle and you embed fitness and nutrition into your lifestyle. Hey, Barbell Therapy fam, I am interrupting this podcast because I want to make sure I let you know that I have roster spots open for my one-on-one coaching. This program is 110% customized specifically to you. I make a brand new workout. I do not copy and paste from any of my other clients. I work with you individually on your individual nutrition needs from where you started to where we want to go. And I make sure that you have a plan in place that will actually get you results and be easy and sustainable for you to achieve. We're going to look at your individual body and how your body responds to things. Honestly, the amount of support that you're going to get inside of this program is going to be the game changer. From not feeling like yourself and needing personal journal prompts, routine audits, making sure that your day is structured in a way that you don't feel like you're flailing and you just have all these tasks you need to complete and you don't know when and why to complete them. I will go through every single step of the way with you to make sure that you not only have a plan that you can actually complete, but you know when and where to complete that plan so you don't feel like you're just adrift in the day trying to meet these metrics. We are going to be best friends throughout this, and I'm telling you, it is worth it. Hop on a call with me and let's do a personalized fat loss evaluation for you, where I will give you the starting guide that we would be using inside of my program: calories, training days, cardio days, etc. I will give you that guide to get started, and we can see if you're a fit for the program. And if you're not, at least you have a basic plan that you can implement to actually hit your results. So let's get started by setting up that call, and I can't wait to meet you. And you can constantly reprioritize your goals and understand where you are and what you want out of that fitness and nutrition lifestyle inside of your already established lifestyle of who you are, that is always going to carry you forward because you've built these habits, you've built this discipline, you understand all of the things that you need to do. And so when life is kind of throwing things at you, it's easier to keep moving forward with some structure because you know the basics, you know the bare minimum that you need to do to survive, and you've built that foundation and those habits that you need to go on that walk. You know that you have, you can track your food, and if you go over a little bit, you do, but you know that you have that in your back pocket to help motivate you to keep going there. You know that you have a coach that's going to be in your corner the entire time. And when you're feeling hopeless, they're going to keep pushing you to go forward. Like when you have all of and you anchor yourself into those goals, it really pulls you through the trenches. And that's why I truly believe that fitness and nutrition belongs in everyone's lifestyle, and it's going to look vastly different every single time. And that's why one-on-one coaching is so different than just like doing a challenge or doing, a program that you buy online or some app, that you're doing. Like it's more so about you and meeting you where you are and where you need to go and helping you through that. And that's that accountability and that person that's there with you through it all. But when you don't have that, you start just kind of flailing and you're just like, I don't know what to do or where to go from here. So that's why I truly believe that fitness and nutrition, should be a point of emphasis for everyone at some point in their lives to help them, because it can be medicine. Movement is medicine. Movement is therapy. Having a coach can be therapy if you want one. But, I feel like I have these incredibly vulnerable conversations with my clients consistently. And at the end of the day, what we do every single time is we get the steps, we track the food, and we keep moving forward. And that's truly what ended up moving me forward, even though, I sat on this couch crying last week and telling you guys all about what was going on in my life. And again, you can do this, you can grind through it, and it can be difficult. It can be really hard. And sometimes you can't see the light clearly, but then it kind of comes to you. And when you look back on it all, everything that you have that you fall back on are the basics, that foundation that you created for yourself. Because the last thing that you want and need is when you go through these really, really hard periods of time where everything sucks, your mental's in a bad place. The last thing you want is to constantly look at yourself in the mirror and always criticize that too. So it's like if you can get yourself to a point where you love the process of becoming the person you want to become, anytime you are hitting those ruts, you can anchor yourself in that. And that, my friends, is what I wanted to come on here and chat with you about. So like I said, pretty brief and short, which for me is atypical because I'm a really long-winded person. But here we are. So hopefully you can take some of this and really apply it to your life, especially if you are going through something right now. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Hopefully I'll have an interview for you, but if not, you'll see me again and we'll just keep chatting about things. I am going to be doing a solo Q&A podcast, and I would really love it if you guys could head to my Instagram and submit your questions so that I can answer those questions. All right. Talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, review, whatever you want to do on here so we can get these stories out to more people and help the masses. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.